Are you tired of this happening while taming a Basilosaurus? My name is Techworth and today I'll show you how to tame a Basilosaurus, and if you stick around I'll tell you a couple of neat things about tamed Basilosaurus. First off, let's prepare. The food you're going to need in order from most effective to least effective. Exceptional kibble, raw mutton, raw prime meat, raw prime fish meat, cooked lamb chop, cooked prime meat. It's hard to recommend any specific food for the Basilosaurus. If you're wanting a high taming effectiveness, kibble will always be best. However, if you want time efficiency, raw prime meat will take about half as long. It also never hurts to have cooked prime meat, just in case. At a default taming rate, a level 50 can take between 5 and 15 minutes, a level 100 can take between 10 and 25 minutes, a level 150 between 12 and 40 minutes. These times are the difference between the raw prime and raw meat. I also have kibble and cooked prime meat times on screen now. You'll also want a more abundant food source for the Basilosaurus to consume when it's tamed. The recipe for exceptional kibble is 1 extra large egg, 10 mijo berries, 1 rare flower, 1 focal chili, 5 fiber, and 1 water. I would recommend making Lazarus Chowder for this tame. Lazarus Chowder makes you consume less oxygen for 10 minutes. The recipe for Lazarus Chowder is 9 cooked meat, 5 savor root, 5 long grass, 10 mijo berries, 2 narcotic, and water. If you have access to scuba gear, I'd advise using it as it will make this tame go much smoother, but it's not really necessary. You'll also want some form of aquatic mount, such as an ichthyosaurus or sarcosuchus. I'll be using a sarcosuchus for this video because their damage and health is a bit higher than the ichthyosaurus. The Basilosaurus is a non-violent tame, and that makes taming it even harder. There are also a lot of other traits that make this a frustrating tame. For example, they will not move very close to the shore, and they will not dive to the bottom of the ocean, so making a cage to contain one will be difficult. To add to this, damaging one to attempt to lure it to a cage will cause all the Manta following it to become aggressive towards you, and the Basilosaurus will not attempt to attack you back. Condition the area around the Basilosaurus. Kill off any creatures that could interfere with your taming. At this point, you'll want to leave the Manta following the Basilosaurus alone. They should not be aggressive towards you unless provoked or responding to some other threat. You'll mainly want to focus on taking out Megalodons. Once you have everything else clear, pull the Mantas away from the Basilosaurus. You can do this with a crossbow bolt or by beginning the tame. If you have tribe mates to help you, they can be defending the area while you start taming. Since this is a non-violent tame, you'll want to put your food of choice in the last slot of your hotbar. Stay on your aquatic mount for as long as possible while you're approaching the Basilosaurus. At the last possible moment, jump off and interact with the Basilosaurus, and then get back on your mount. If you've left the Mantas alive to this point, they'll now start chasing you. If you've dealt with the Mantas, there's no need to be this cautious. At this point, there'll be a long wait. It could take a few minutes before it's ready to feed again. I want to stress that this wait is normal and expected. Nothing is broken, it just takes a while for their food to drain. Once you can feed again, jump off your mount and interact again. If you're using kibble, you'll be able to feed about once per minute. Every other type of food, you'll be constantly feeding. Keep this up until it's tamed. If this video was helpful, make sure you like and share it. Your support really helps out the channel. Before I get to the neat facts, I'd like to thank everyone who voted in the poll last week. And I want you to know that I have a new one going on for next week. I'll use the results of the poll as they stand on Tuesday, March 3rd. The choices in the poll are Spinosaur, Allosaurus, Tusoteuthus, Calcotherum, and Megalonia. I'll be keeping a list of requested creatures. There are currently 18 creatures on that list, and I'll be cycling through them during this month. Now for the neat facts that I promised earlier. Basilosaurus saddle ingram can be learned at level 60 and can be crafted in the smithy with hide, fiber, and metal ingots. Their primary attack is a lunging bite. They have an animation tied to their secondary attack, which lets them leap from the water and make a little rainbow from their blowhole. Basilosaurus is immune to most immobilizing effects and all effects caused by underwater creatures. They cannot be stunned by Cnidaria, Tusoteuthis cannot grapple them, and Electrophorus cannot shock them. This allows you to ignore most hazards when exploring the underwater caves. They also give a small amount of cold protection to make underwater exploration a bit easier. Basilosaurus passively gathers oil in their inventory. It has a max stack size of 20 and does have a spoil timer, so make sure to grab it whenever you remember. Basilosaurus also has a crush depth, a depth at which they start taking damage. This depth is the same as the ceiling height that wild mosasaur, plesiosaur, and Tusoteuthis are willing to go. Neat fact, if you apply the infinitestats cheat to the Basilosaurus and go past the crush depth, they will instantly die. On death, Basilosaurus drop Basilosaurus blubber, an item used as tribute for summoning bosses. You can also gather oil from their body, in addition to prime meat and hide. That's all I've got for today. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and have yourselves a very good day.